In this video, I want to explain what our first SOLIDWORKS sketch should look like and how to fix it if something's missing. So we've just created our first SOLIDWORKS sketch as shown here. Now, each horizontal line should have the horizontal relationship, and each vertical line should have the vertical relationship. So if I select an entity, such as this line, over here it tells me the existing relationships of that entity. I can also see that here. But remember, I can turn the visibility of these relationships off over here. So if I do, that's fine. But when I select the entity, the relationships will appear again in the screen. So this horizontal line's endpoint is coincident with the origin, and it's horizontal. It also shows over here it's horizontal. Just going to accept that. I'm going to turn the visibility of the relationships back on. I'm going to click in white space so that'll go away. So before we go any further, there's a couple things we should be aware of. We would like the center line, lower endpoint, to be below the lower horizontal line. That'll just make things easier later. So if your center line isn't, and it's up here, you should be able to see that endpoint. So click on it and hold it and drag it down. And the next thing we want to do is we want to check each entity has the appropriate relationships. Just as I stated, each horizontal line should have a horizontal relationship, each vertical should be vertical. If the entity doesn't have the relationship showing, don't worry about it, select it, and then when you hesitate, the possible relationships will pop up here. So I can add the vertical here, or I can come over here to the left side of my screen to the line properties window, and I can add the vertical and horizontal relationship here. You do want to get in the habit of selecting your entity and adding the relationships from here because it'll make you a quicker designer. But if you move your mouse too much, you'll miss this. And again, you can always come over here and add the relationship. So the next thing to be aware of is the shaded sketch contours is turned on. You'll notice how my sketch is shaded in the center. If I click on this, I'll shut it off. When you're first learning, I would encourage you to leave this turned on because we want all our shapes for now to be a closed entity. And its shading won't turn on until you've closed your entity. So that's going to help you see that your sketch is closed. And that's really important when you're first learning SOLIDWORKS. So the other thing to pay attention are the entity's colors that we've already mentioned. Notice how this line is black and this line is black, but their endpoints are blue. So the black portion is fully defined and the blue portion isn't. And what does that mean? Well, I could select on this endpoint and I can drag it around however I see fit. I can click on an entity and hold, and I can drag it around and alter my shape that way. The other thing to be aware of is I'm currently working in inch. If I were working in the wrong units, that's fine. I can change it now or I can change it later. So your sketch should look roughly like mine. Don't worry about the sizes or the exact shape. As long as this line here isn't over here, but it's out here past this, and this line, again, is past this, and the rough shape is here. That's all we need in SOLIDWORKS. Remember at this point, the sketching is just a freehand sketching tool. You want to get so you can do it quickly and accurately, and then we'll fully define it and finalize the shape with dimensions and possibly more relationships. So in the next video, we'll look at how we add dimensions to our part.